Om Yogis, welcome to practice today, where we will be looking at the emotion of confusion, any feelings of confusion that we might have. Today we're going to do a practice to hopefully try to remedy this. So we'll begin lying down on your back and start to come into your breath, breathing in and out of your belly. When I get confused, I get snappy or snippy, as my husband would say. I get grumpy. I often feel either a lack of energy, like I'm really lethargic, or that I have too much scattered energy. And as I started to think about how to practice for confusion, I started to look at how confusion makes me feel, and I noticed a correlation between the feelings of lack of energy or too much energy and that kind of irritability relating to a possible imbalance in the solar plexus chakra. So I thought it would be really interesting to do a practice specifically targeted towards the solar plexus chakra to see if it helps us with confusion. The solar plexus chakra is located just above the belly button, so we're breathing into it now. As you breathe in, belly expands, and as you breathe out, belly contracts. The Sanskrit term for this chakra is Manipura chakra, means city of gems. So we're going to work today with Manipura to counter confusion. And we're just sort of connecting with this center now as we breathe in and out through the belly. Let's see if we can bring the breath into a nice sort of samavriti, which is the evenness of breath, by breathing in for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and out. 3, 2, 1. In. 3, 2, 1, and out. 3, 2, 1. And one more time. 3, 2, 1, and out. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So we have an awareness of the belly now. We can keep that as we bring ourselves up to seated. And we're going to practice some Kapalabhati pranayama now. So this is a short, sharp exhale out through the nose. As you exhale, you can practice this now. As you exhale, your tummy lifts sort of in and up. So it sounds a bit like this. You can bring your hands to your belly if you like, just to feel the movement of the belly moving in and up as you breathe. Lovely, and that's our practice round. So let's do a round together now. So deep inhale, deep exhale. Now inhale slightly into your belly so you get that awareness of the belly. And with me, that's exhale. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Deep, long inhale. Smooth, even exhale. Okay, we can do that again. Or you can add on by raising your arms, bringing your thumbs up and raising your arms so they're above shoulder height and out to the sides, but not quite up towards the ceiling, in between the two. Just adds on to the intensity, really having the arms in this position. Let's take a deep inhale together to set up. Exhale here. Now inhale slightly into your belly and begin. Deep inhale and fully exhale. Excuse me. Now you can keep the hands where they are, or you can release them. We're going to do another round and we're going to add on again. So we're going to add on this time by adding the mantra from Manipura, which is Ram, R-A-M. So every time you breathe out, you can mentally repeat Ram. So I'll do the repetition instead of the breath this time so we can sort of stay together. So let's take a deep inhale to prepare. Nice even exhale. Inhale slightly into the belly. And then let's exhale. Ram. Ram, 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 Ram. Deep, full inhale. Smooth and even exhale. Beautiful. We can add on again now. You guys just breathe normally. You can keep the arms where they are. If you've got them lifted, you can always rest in between rounds. We're doing the Kapalabhati breath, abdomen in and up. Inhale takes care of itself. We want the shoulders to be relatively still. We're repeating the mantra Ram internally as we exhale. Ram, 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 Ram. But now I'd like, if you'd like to, you can add on by visualizing a golden yellow light building in your solar plexus chakra in your belly. So let's take an inhale to prepare. And then exhale fully. Now inhale into your belly. And here we go again. Keep going. Now visualize that light building in your solar plexus chakra. Mentally repeat the mantra Ram. And you're really stimulating this area now. We're really waking it up, really bringing ourselves into an awareness of it. Ram, 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 Ram. Beautiful. Take a full inhale and exhale. And breathe normally. Let your body relax. And just feel, if you've come into this practice feeling that energy of confusion that can make us feel super irritable, a little bit sort of on edge, a little bit hyperactive, or even really, really tired because we don't know which way up we are. Just through doing these little exercises, we're bringing ourselves back to balance, and you can feel yourself maybe that little bit more relaxed just through the pranayama. A little bit more centered, feeling your center, feeling your belly, feeling your core. And we're going to concentrate on this area for the entirety of the practice. Bring ourselves back to center when we're feeling confused. So lovelies. Let's come to stand at the top of your mat. Beautiful. We're going to do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar. I'm going to purposely try to keep a nice, strong, steady rhythm to this, not too fast, possibly a little slower than we're used to. So nice, big, deep breaths as you go. Let's take a free inhale here to begin. And then exhale, our palms press at the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in. Bring your left leg back. Take a deep inhale and lift your heart. And then come into plank position. And just breathe here. Send your tailbone down towards your heels. Activate your legs so they take some of the pose out of the belly. Turn the abs on. Push the ground away from you with your shoulders. And on your next exhale, let's come down, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. We're stepping the left leg forward. And as you inhale now, lift your heart. As you exhale, step the back leg to the front of the mat and fold on in. And as you inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, bring the hands to the chest. Lovely. Take a free inhale to reset here. Release the arms. Exhale, hands to the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in. Right leg comes back now. Inhale, lift the heart. Now come into plank position and just hold here. Usually we hold the breath, but I'd like you to breathe today. As the core is switched on, the breath needs to come more towards the chest. As you exhale, come down, knees, chest and chin, still with that awareness of Manipura is moving away from the floor. And then as you inhale, take cobra, stretching your solar plexus chakra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Then bring your right leg forward, I hope, and lift your heart as you inhale. Step forward to the front of the mat and fold on your next exhale. And stretch the arms high. Inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Just take a few moments here, just breathe. You know, as you breathe and you're breathing in a very strong, slow, steady, rhythmical way, you're countering confusion, you're centering yourself inside of your breath. And let's keep this going as we move again. So inhale, free inhale to begin and prepare. Exhale, bring the palms to the heart. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, fold forward. The left leg is coming back into lunge here. We're just going to hold and breathe in this lunge. You can bring your right palm to the floor and you can twist towards your left leg. And as you constrict the tummy area in this twist, the breath will need to come up towards the chest. So we get really good at breathing with that core awareness switched on. Now when you're ready, come back to the original lunge. As you inhale, open the heart again forward. And then come back to plank. And let's take some extra breaths in plank. Try to make a nice even line through the back body. Push the ground away from you, activate your legs, push into your heels, push your tailbone down towards your heels. The tummy is switched on, so the breath moves up into the chest more. And then on your next exhale, let's come down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your left leg forward and just hold the posture and breathe here. Now we can add on and twist again. So we're twisting the other way now. And your free arm can be either extended up towards the ceiling or out to the side, out towards your feet, your foot if you want your back foot. Be aware of the twist. Be aware of your core, be aware of your breath moving up towards your chest. And then when you're ready, return to your lunge position. On your next inhale, open your heart. And as you exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, palms press. I take an inhale here just to release all of that. One more round. Exhale, palms press. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold on in. Lovely. Now let's bring the right leg back. Working on the right leg, Julie, don't forget this. We'll hold and breathe here, and we can have the option of taking the same twist again as you did last time. If you want a little more, you can take your hands to prayer and bring your, if it's your right leg coming back, it will be your left leg coming forward, so it would be your right elbow to the outer left leg. I hope that's right, but I think you'll know which way to go. So once you've found this twist that I'm making sound really complicated, that probably isn't, let's perhaps see if you can lift the back knee up, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up so you're in a high lunge twist here. Breathe and hold. If this is too much, come back onto the knee or come back to the original twist or just hold the lunge. Keeping that core awareness. Take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, everybody return to the original lunge. As you inhale, open your heart forward. And then come into plank position. Let's take a few extra breaths here. So it feels like a really sort of slow and steady sun salutation. We're working purposefully this way to bring ourselves into center, to counter any confusion, to ground and reclaim our own energy. On your next exhale, come down to the floor, knees, chest, chin. And then as you inhale, take cobra. Feel your tailbone diving in as your heart lifts up. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. We're bringing the right leg forward And we're holding the lunge here. And you can take the first twist, the open twist. You can take the prayer twist. And you can lift the back knee up if that is what you want. Do what the body requires. Breathe deep. Wherever you are, your belly will most probably be a little bit constricted here, so you'll need to breathe more into your chest. Beautiful. Then when you're ready, everybody exhale, return to the original lunge, and inhale, open your heart here. Now as you exhale, step yourself forward and fold at the top of your mat. And as you inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale, palms press at the heart. Beautiful. Now bring your awareness again to your solar plexus chakra, to your belly. Engage the belly a lot through those 3 rounds of sun salutations. Let's start to jiggle and wiggle a little bit through that solar plexus area. It counters the snappy and snippy that I get when I feel confused. So we just say, well, it's all okay, don't worry. Start to really wiggle and jiggle through the solar plexus area. Try to stay relaxed as you do this. Stay open and awake and relaxed in the solar plexus, not tight at all. Just releasing anything that feels a little bit tight, a little bit blocked. And you can add on to this release process by just gently tapping this area with your fists. Taking your fists to whatever part of your body here might feel a little bit tight. Releasing any feelings of stuck energy here. And it's like I say, it dawned on me today that, when I feel confused, I get snappy. I feel irritated. I can feel irritated because I'm tired, or I can feel irritated because I feel too scattered in myself. And when I looked into this, I thought, it's interesting. Like both of those things relate to sort of an imbalance in the solar plexus area. So maybe if we work with the solar plexus, this can help us with confusion. And this is our little experiment for the day. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see. But hopefully now you feel a little bit more aware of this area and you've moved a little bit of energy here. So let's take an inhale, release all of that. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart again. Let's inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold on in. Inhale, come to a halfway rise actually. And exhale, bring both of your legs back into plank position. Hold your plank for an extra breath. Inhaling here, and as you exhale, come down, knees, chest, chin, or maybe chaturanga if you're feeling strong today. Let's inhale, come into cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, let's bring the feet to the front of the mat and just sit down and then lie down and come back to Shavasana. Oh, what a lovely surprise. In Shavasana, let's come back to that belly breathing. So we're going through this process of sort of becoming aware of the solar plexus, tightening it, squeezing it, wringing it out, and now we're letting it breathe again, letting it relax. You might even want to rub your palms together and bring your palms to your belly, or even rub your belly with your hands. Let's just even out the breath again, breathing in Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, breathing out Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4. Breathe in, belly expands, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, belly gently contracts, 2, 3, 4, one more like this, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. Okay, lovelies. Now bring your awareness to your frontal hip bones. We're just going to start to tilt the pelvis, just rock the pelvis forwards and back. So as you exhale, push your lower back into the ground. It's like the first move that we do for sort of core awareness here. You feel your core switch on. And as you inhale, we're rolling towards the tailbone. We're making a little sort of arch in the lower back. And we're stretching out the abdomen. So exhale, contract, flatten that curve. And inhale, return to the curve and expand here through the abdomen. Keeping that really nice awareness of your core here. Let's flatten that curve. Keep that curve flat now, so as you exhale, you're pushing the back into the floor and start to draw your abdominal muscles in towards that curve, so everything sort of comes in towards the center. And continue to breathe, keep that on, but bring the breath into the chest. And now you might want to start to think about engaging a more sort of deep core muscles that, for me, I feel them just sort of above the pubic bone. And this is sort of that area of Uddiyana Bandha, low belly lifting up. And there's an upward moving sensation to this. So it's like the energy is moving from the deep core up towards Manipura chakra. And you might even feel Mula Bandha start to naturally engage here, so your pelvic floor muscles start to lift here as well. So there's like this obvious, keep breathing into your chest, lovelies. I know it's a bit strange at first, but I know you can do it. There's an obvious kind of core engagement here. It feels like a corset around the body, but there's also within that this deep core, this lifting sensation. So, your experience of your core might be very gross or very subtle, depending on how your body feels today, and that's fine. Now, keeping all of that on as best you can, bring your legs to sort of a tabletop position as if you're sitting in a chair, and start to bring your toes one leg at a time towards the floor, just tapping the toes to the floor. Try to keep yourself engaged, keep that core engagement as the toes pop down to the floor. And if it helps you to lift your head, you can lift your head. You could prop your head on a block or a blanket if that helps. So, it doesn't look like we're doing a lot, but we know better. We're inhaling as the leg comes up to tabletop, and we're exhaling as we tap the toes to the floor, and we're just switching the legs. Bringing the breath into the chest, seeing where the core muscles are, how the core muscles work. Breathe very, very steadily, maybe even count the breath. And match the movement with the rhythm of your own breath. Notice if you're creating any unnecessary tension in your face or in your neck or your upper shoulders. See if you can relax where you can relax as you do this. Let's do one more. And then exhale. let's take a rest. So bring the soles of your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat and let your knees knock in. Breathe and rest. For me in this practice, or when I'm feeling confused, I have this feeling of like it can knock me for six. When things are confusing externally or internally, I have this moment where I realize, oh my God, I'm so confused, I'm so tired, or I'm so irritated. And, I will use my yoga practice really to pull myself together, to bring the parts of myself back together that have become scattered. For me, when I become scattered, quite often my body will hurt. I'll feel like a weakness in my back. And for me, when my lower back starts to play up, I also feel that as an imbalance in the solar plexus, because that is just in front of the back. So, I notice all of this when I'm feeling disjointed, like I need to bring myself back from confusion. But when I'm not confused, the solar plexus is functioning well. There's a strong sense of self. There's an ability to use my willpower, an ability to digest what I need to digest well and to process and release information or toxins through the body. The area of the solar plexus relates to the liver, to the adrenals, and to the digestive organs. So there's a lot going on here, and when this underfunctions or becomes imbalanced, for me it can often affect my lower back. It can affect my it can make me feel very unsupported, and I can quickly fall into sort of victimhood, that victim mentality of, oh, it's not fair, I'm all on my own. And there's a feeling of not being safe there, and that leads to more confusion. So as we practice today, we're reorientating ourselves back to ourselves, or back to our center, or back to Manipura, or to, the city of jewels that we are. So it's all beautiful and lovely, but the reality of doing that is a lot of core work. So let's stack the knees over the hips and bend the legs so they're on that chair again, 90 degrees. Bring the low back into that pressing position and feel everything switch back on again. You can prop your head, you can lift your head if that helps. And what I'd like you to do here, lovelies, is to press your hands into your thighs and press your thighs into your hands, so you're creating a resistance here. And this is quite intense. There's a resistance in the belly, the resistance in the legs, resistance in the arms. And we're forced here to take the breath again into the upper chest. We can come into Ujjayi breath here, where we're really utilizing the space in the upper chest, and the core can be really engaged as we breathe this way. And this adds a lot of heat. This is a very centering breath. And we're using this position and this intensity to connect ourselves back to our core. And it's like that core stability, that sense of self, that place that gets knocked around when things are confusing. So there's one thing to concentrate on now, and that is your core. Everything else is coming out from the core. The breath is coming out from the core. The resistance is coming out from the core. We're going to take a couple more breaths here. You're almost there. And then when you're ready, release that. Bring the feet wide, knock the knees in, and rest for a second. Just let the belly relax, lovelies. Okay. Because we know there's more core stuff to come. Okay, so let's start with the feet to the floor. So it's like you're prepping for a bridge pose. And we're going to lift the opposite elbow and knee to touch as you lift your head. So you're sort of doing these little crunches, opposite elbow and knee to touch as you exhale and lift, and then inhale back to the floor. Exhale and lift, switch sides, inhale back to the floor. Just carry on with these on your own. You might want to keep your head up the whole time. You might want to lower it. You might want to do these quickly or more slowly. It's completely up to you. Just stay engaged with your core. We know how to breathe here. We know how to engage the deep core, even Mula Bandha. We know how to corset the abs in to protect the back. Lovely. And we can add on here, so you can carry on with that. Rest if you need to and come back in. But to add on, we're going to straighten all of your limbs. And lay down with your arms above your head and your feet straight. And we're just going to bring the opposite arm and leg up in a straight line to touch as you crunch in. So I believe this is called a half jackknife. A full jackknife is when you bring the arms and the legs up at the same time, but we're thankfully not going to do that one today. If this is too much, you can bend the knees and elbows again and stay with the first exercise. Just do sort of a set of 5 or 6 and then rest for a couple of breaths and then come back in if it's too much to keep going on your own. Okay, lovelies. Now we can check in just for fun because we've got to try to make this fun somehow with our core stability by adding a couple of blocks. So take 2 blocks. I don't know if this will work, but we'll try it. And your position for your blocks is as follows. Bring one of your blocks between your ankle and your buttock. So we're lying on the back, we've got one block between the ankle and the buttock. We're going to try and squeeze that in and keep that there. And then we're going to bring the knee and the elbow, same side, towards one another and put another block there. So you're holding a block between your ankle and your buttock or your thigh, and another block between your elbow and your knee on the same side. And just see if you can hold all of that together. You can keep your head on the floor this time, but on the other side of your body, or you can prop your head up if that feels good. On the other side of your body, I'd like you to straighten the arm and the leg. And then see if you can lift same arm and same leg this time, whilst keeping the blocks where they should be. I think that's the exercise. Yeah, this should work, guys. But it's just a bit of fun to see how much we wobble and to see how much stability we can cultivate here. And we can't really cheat because it's obvious when we drop the block that we've kind of lost a little bit of stability there. Take a couple more like this. Lovely, and then let's swap sides. So we're placing the block on the other side now between the ankle and buttock or the ankle and thigh and between the elbow and the knee. And then on the other side, everything is straight, the limbs are straight and they're just independently lifting and touching and then coming back to the floor. The head can stay down or it can be propped up, or you can lift the head if you like. So it's like you're crunching one side and opening the other. Let's just see how much we wobble. Let's see how we do with this. Use your breath and use your core. That is the name of the game today. And there's nothing that's going to center us more than having to be strong and having to be balanced in this way and having to be humble when the blocks fall to the ground, which inevitably they might. Let's release all of that now. And just take a little rest. Bring your feet wide, and you can windscreen wiper your legs, or you can knock the knees in just to release that little bit of core work. Awesome. So from here, let's hug the knees into the chest and rock a little side to side, or you can engage your core and rock forward and back. And bring yourself into downward facing dog, and stretching out here for a second. And then bring yourself forward to plank. And from plank, you can bring yourself to a forearm plank if that's possible, if you have the core strength, so just drop down one at a time onto your forearms. Or if this is too much, you can drop to your knees and then come into forearm plank. You can keep your knees to the floor if there's anything going on in your back, or if you're feeling not so strong today, that's fine. If you're in the forearm plank and you are feeling strong, you can add on to this by just dipping your hips towards the floor one at a time. Breathe, smile, swear if you need to. Lovely. And then come back to your knees. Press briefly back for a child's pose. And then come back into dog. Breathing and stretching here. Lovely. From your downward facing dog, let's shift forward to plank again. And drop down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga as you exhale. As you inhale, take cobra. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, now from your downward facing dog, let's drop down to all fours. And if you'd like a cat-cow, just to loosen up if that feels right for your body, you can take a very quick couple of cat-cows here, or just one really slow one. The next exercise we're going to do now, lovelies, is called the panther crawl. We're going to, from all fours, so we can come back to all fours now, bring your knees away from the floor to just a slight hover. And this might be enough. You might want to just stay here and breathe, or you might be able to touch your shoulder with your opposite hand. And then exhale, release that, and inhale, go up to the other side. And exhale, release. So you're alternating between the left and right side. And if this is really easy for you, see if you can try to keep your hips as still as possible. And feel the demand this places in the core of the body. And enjoy that. You're coming back to your center. It's very rare that we would see a cat or a panther feeling confused. They're very certain animals. They're very decisive creatures. So, yeah, we're going with that sort of cat energy, bringing ourselves back from confusion, back to our core. You can rest up and start again at any point in any of these core exercises, because, you know, as you build up to them, they're harder at first. So, you know, and as you build up, it gets easier. But If, like me, you've neglected your core recently, this might feel like the advanced class when, we're not so strong and we have to work that bit harder and everything is that little bit more clunky. The advanced class is telling us to just stay centered and just be okay with whatever presents itself, even if it is me talking and not releasing us from this exercise, which I will now. Let that go now, sweet relief. And from all fours, let's come down, knees, chest, chin. Let's inhale, cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and exhale, come to the front of your mat and fold. Inhale, rise on up, and exhale, Samastitihi, just stand here for a moment. Feel your core again and start to jiggle and wiggle your core. Jiggle and wiggle through the lower back. Just release any tension that might be kind of becoming an over contraction in your body. Maybe rub your belly, maybe make those fists. Release the belly now. I'm just doing this really just to get us out of these core exercises for a moment. Give us a bit of breathing space. Lovely. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Take an inhale, lift the arms. And exhale, fold on in. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, take your legs back to plank. Take an inhale in plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga to the ground. Let's inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's drop back to all fours. We used to love it on all fours, but now, I don't know. And let's lift the knees. Hover the knees just above your mat. Now listen carefully. We're going to twist to the right side until your right hand wants to leave the floor. And as the right hand leaves the floor, see if you can extend your left leg, which is underneath you, away from you to touch your right hand. This is called the break dancer, and that description of it will help you understand what we're doing. The hips are staying as low as possible, and we're going to alternate between sides. So we're on all fours, we're twisting one way until the hand leaves the floor, and then we're touching the opposite leg, lifting the opposite leg if the body will do that. You can do this to the full extent of the pose, or you can just do the twist and the lift of the arm if you're feeling tired today. Alternating between the sides actually gives us a little bit of a break. So it's actually really nice, and the lower the hips are, the harder it is. We're remembering to engage through the core, we're remembering to engage through the pelvis, through the pelvic floor a little bit. Especially if you're doing that leg extend, I feel like it really helps me to extend, to really utilize my pelvic floor here. Remember to utilize the breath. Bring energy in, bring prana in as you breathe. Lovely. And then when you're ready, you can come out of that. We won't stay there for too long. Lovely. Come back to all fours. Maybe if it feels right for your body, you can take a cat-cow to release. Maybe it would feel better for your body to take a downward facing dog. Maybe it would give you a release in downward facing dog to take a three-legged dog. Just release the hips and kind of stretch out the belly a little bit here. If you're doing three-legged dog, make sure you do both sides. Beautiful, and now let's from here come back to downward facing dog. Shift forward to plank. Lower to the ground, chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's bring the feet to the hands and sit down. Beautiful. And from this seated position, we're going to take Navasana or boat pose. It's completely up to you as to whether you might want to put a block between your thighs if you're going for more stability in this pose. We want to make sure that we're engaging the core. We want to make sure that we're not dropping the pose into the back body, that we're kind of engaging the core and we're bringing the breath into the chest, and so opening the chest and the front body. And we can just take a traditional boat. You can keep your feet to the ground if you're tired today, or you can lift your legs if you're feeling energetic. And you can row your boat by bringing your hands into prayer, making an oar with your hands and just twisting, bringing your hands to the left, back to center, right, and back to center. Do whatever feels right for your body today. So some days, I might want to really push myself. At the moment, my back is not in its strongest place, so I really want to be careful for my back. And I really want to utilize my core to support my back. So I really want to kind of do less in a way, but do more in my core. So be really aware and go really slow, build the strength slowly. And if that's the case for you, then do less. That was manic music for rowing the boat too. Okay, let's come out of that now. And from your boat position, bring yourself forward and meet me in plank. From plank position, let's come down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here, stretch it all out. Take a three-legged dog if that feels good for your body today. That feels good to help you sort of stretch out and release your core a little bit here. That's fine. Gorgeous. Now from your downward facing dog, let's drop back to the knees. Lovely. And we're going to come into a side plank here. So you can keep you can do the easy version of this, which is kind of to pivot your knees to one side, keep the bottom leg down, and just rise the top leg up and open up the top body. Or you can bring your feet into that traditional plank where both of your feet are coming are stacked and you're stacked to the side. Or you can bring your top leg to the ground for a bit of support. Or you can play around with, rather than resting your plank on the outer edge of your foot, you can bring the foot to the ground. So the sole of the foot is on the ground, can give you more support here. You might want to come into a sort of tree pose in your side plank if you're feeling strong today. Or you might want to drop down to the forearm and try that version. Take a side plank, whichever way works for you. And then exhale, release that. Lovely. Let's just switch to the other side. So we're on all fours and we can just quite easily come to a side plank on the other side. Whichever version you did on the first side, do it on the second side. There's a little bit less mucking about now. So set yourself up, engage your core and breathe. Beautiful. Then just come back to all fours. And you can take a really quick child's pose to rest, or a really quick downward facing dog to stretch that out. And we're just going to come back now to a regular plank, just for fun. Let's see how this goes. Now keep your left hand planted and take a side plank. So the left side of the body is supporting the right side to come towards the ceiling, hopefully. And then from here, let's take the right side of the body down to the floor, so you're coming into tabletop. And you can extend your legs if you know the full version here, that inclined plane. And then from here, see if you can come to a plank on the other side, a side plank on the other side. The torture, use your core to support you here, lovelies. Then from here, come into a regular plank. Now you can take child's pose and rest, or you can come back this way, so you're coming back into side plank. So we're just repeating that, but going backwards. And then incline plane or tabletop. Plank on the other side. Regular plank. Lovely. From your regular plank now, it might be possible for you to lower one arm at a time down to dolphin pose, or you might need to come onto your knees to find this. So bringing the forearms to the floor, start to walk your legs in, take dolphin here. And if you're feeling super strong, you might want to lift one leg at a time. Stay with that core awareness. Or you might want to come into sort of dolphin dips, where you kind of come into a plank position, like a forearm plank, and then push back to dolphin. Now the great thing about a practice like this, although it might feel like you're being sort of tortured in one sense, in the other sense, we get very focused. The mind focuses in on what the physical body is doing, and it takes a break from the confusion of the outside world and the demands of the outside world. So in a funny sort of way, all of this activity does bring us a sense of peace. We might not necessarily feel it at the moment, but I promise that you will in a minute. Let's come down to the knees, lovely, and come into child's pose and rest. And congratulate yourself on some really good awareness of your solar plexus, some really nice balancing of this chakra, some strengthening and some stabilizing of this area. You might want to bring your breath into your back body, especially around your lower back, behind your solar plexus now. And then from child's pose, just bring yourself to lie down on your back. Bring a block with you. And when you're ready, plant your feet to the mat, bend your knees, lift your hips, slide the block underneath your sacrum, not underneath your lower back, underneath the big triangular bone at the base of your back, sort of the top of your buttocks. And take a supported bridge here. Let go. We're softening out all of that engagement through the solar plexus. And if you like here, you can start to run that yellow light back into the solar plexus chakra. And you might want to internally repeat the mantra Ram as you breathe in. Breathe out Ram. Golden yellow light, breathe in Ram. And out Ram. All of that engagement brings this sense of peace, this sense of rest, this sense of release. Breathing in Ram, breathing out Ram. Solar plexus is lit up now, golden yellow light. Release the hinge of your jaw, release your face.
Know you are love, rest in peace, dream your sweet dreams.
And after all of that activity, we can feel ourselves really starting to soften here. This is the payoff, you guys. It's like the more we do, the more we relax.
Dream your sweet dreams.
Breathing in Ram, breathing out Ram. A golden yellow light building in your solar plexus, strengthening, stabilizing, balancing, calming, loving this area of your body. This area that gives us a really strong sense of ourselves and brings us back from confusion.
With your compassion, with your grace, oh, with your grace.
Gorgeous. Let's inhale here and exhale here. And then on your next inhale, start to lift your hips. Release the block, take the block out of your way, keep the hips up. And just start to unravel the pose through your spine, so bringing the upper back to the ground first. Then middle back, core is engaged as you do this. Then lower back, core is engaged. And then your hips. And then your tailbone, and as your tailbone comes towards the mat, you're coming into that pelvic tilt. And you can take a few more of these pelvic tilts just to massage the lower back, but also to massage the solar plexus chakra. Bringing attention and love and appreciation to this area of the body. Beautiful. Let's bring both knees in towards your chest and let your knees fall to one side for a twist here. Focus on your solar plexus. Feel your core being wrung out, and anything that has clouded your ability to center inside of yourself, anything that has confused you, or anything that has confused your sense of willpower or identity, lovingly let that go completely now. Feel that it's being kind of wrung out of you. Thank it for the lesson. But release that energy of confusion. Come back to you. And anyone or anything that may have confused you recently, today, before your practice, whenever it was, lovingly release them. Let's come back to the self, come back to the center, come back to the Manipura chakra. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bring the knees up to center, and then on your next inhale, stay in the center. Focus on the center. And as you exhale, release, and do exactly the same thing on the other side. It's like you're wringing out any of the old stuff that may have felt confusing. Coming back to clarity, coming back to the center, coming back to Manipura. Coming back to the city of jewels. This is the translation for Manipura chakra. This clean and shining space inside of you, this place of clarity, place of identity and certainty. Inhale here, lovelies. Exhale, come back to center. And then come into Shavasana. Feel your solar plexus chakra lovely and open. Everything extending out from this center point. Feel a sense of arriving back inside of yourself, the clarity of the self and the real relaxation that brings. No confusion here. We just splat. As my kids used to call it, beans on toast. We're just lying on the ground, completely relaxed. Come into that belly breathing again. Let's do a 3-part breath now, breathing in abdomen, then up to the chest and into the collarbones. Breathing out abdomen, chest, collarbones. Breathing in abdomen, chest, collarbones. And out, abdomen, chest, and collarbones. Let's see if we can synchronize the breath with the count. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, way up to the collarbones and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-part breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the belly only now. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. And in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Belly only. In. Abdomen expands. 3, 4. Out. Abdomen contracts. 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Release everything. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax completely. Feel that sense of clarity, that sense of arriving back inside of yourself, and the relaxation that brings. Feel Manipura chakra, balanced and open, steady and strong, happy, level, even. Ask yourself as you practice today, calmed any irritability, or woken up any excess tiredness. Bring a golden yellow light to this area, and from this golden yellow light, relax, relax, relax. Feel clear. Hopefully this practice has countered confusion. Now you are completely relaxed. You are beans on toast. Let go. Namaste.